Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Power, Season 5, Episode 2. It seems like Kanan is like out there. Like he really wants to take over, what Tommy has, and he wants to take over what Dre has. So he is not playing fair. He ain't playing right. He's putting on all the moves and all the acting like he really want to be down with Ghost and Tommy, and that's not the case. But what is his plan with Tariq? Because he keeps talking about Tariq is this, Tariq is that, Tariq is a gangster, Tariq is this. Tariq is actually better than Ghost when Ghost was his age. So it's like he's really liking Tariq. So is he gonna hold Tariq hostage? Is he gonna hurt Tariq to get back at Ghost, or he's gonna have Tariq working for him? And Tariq is gonna be going off to a boarding school where he's away from his family. So what does that mean? Is Tariq actually gonna go to boarding school, or he actually gonna run into Dre, or is he gonna run into Kanan's hands? Is he going to run into Kanan's hands? It seems like it's going to be a worldwide twist with that situation of what role Tariq is going to play this season. I'm just like, okay. And we see Tommy's getting into it because Tommy promised Jason, the servants, that he was going to make sure the port was open for them to deliver their drugs. And it's not, because the Hernandez people are not going to let that happen. So now Tommy is in debt to Jason, and Jason wants Ghost and he wants Kanan to actually be involved in taking out the cartel, the Hernandez brothers, but which we see is only just Diego and his sister. So we'll see how that situation happens. And Kanan is just like, we followed Dre, and Dre will lead us to Diaz. The Hernandez brothers will lead us to them. And so Tommy's so quick to think, oh yeah, that sounds like a good plan, because really the real reason why Kanan wants to, find out, the Diego and his sister, and then also because he wants to actually run, the organization, because he wants to take Tommy's organization and Dre's organization. So it's going to be going down, and he sees a good, it's just like, damn, nobody is picking up on Kanan doing what he wants to do, basically trying to get close to them and get close to the cartel, because Kanan don't want to live a normal life. He wants to stay in his business and sell drugs, and he needs a connect, and he's going to find his connect. He's going to get him a connect. So we'll see how that goes. And is Ghost going to actually become Ghost and be sneaky and be vicious and be like a ninja in the night, or is Ghost drinking alcohol and getting drunk and messing up, and then actually going after this guy that's a drunk that killed a young boy when he went to grieving counseling with Tasha? Did that show us that that's the real, Ghost is coming? Or is that not Ghost, because Ghost wouldn't just, act like that, just kill somebody and just go after them, but he's hurt and he's in pain, and Angela won't answer his phone calls or even get up with him or have a conversation with him. So it seems like Ghost might be, falling off. He might not be Ghost, or maybe he's going to be a new and improved Ghost where he's not going to hold back anything. He's just going to murder and kill and get what he wants to get, what he needs to get, so he can actually leave the game. So is that going to happen? So what do you guys think about Ghost killing this drunk? It's a good thing, but is that good for Ghost to just take care of a body like that? And he shows up to grief counseling, and then he hears a story about the little kid getting killed by a drunk driver, and all of a sudden now that guy is dead. So what is the church preacher, the pastor that was involved in his daughter's funeral, what is he gonna think about that? Are they gonna put two to two together? So we'll see how that situation goes. I'm just like, they going in. And so we get John Marks. He really don't want to go after Ghost right now, because he feels like they have frivolous information about Ghost, and because we have Saxe really wants to take down Angela. He wants Angela out the picture. And since he knows that Tamika, the head of the FBI organization, does not really trust Angela, so he feels like he needs to do something, and he's after Angela. He's on her ass. So Angela better watch her back and be careful that she leaves no evidence behind or get caught doing anything at all, because Saxe is on her trail. And Saxe And I believe, Greg, the other detective, actually went to John Marks and was like, we got this information on, Maria, and she said it was actually ghosts. They brought her to a port, and they were saying that, there was music playing, it was a bumpy road, and it almost sounds like where Club Truth is at. So that's probably where, they killed her fiance, and we can tie it in together with Egan and everybody else. And John Marks was like, no, that don't make any sense, because ghosts wouldn't do that. That don't sound like something James St. Patrick would do, bring a body, kill somebody near his club, near his business. So he's not really down with it. But John Mark, his thing is he wants to get he wants Ghost too as well, and he also wants Proctor, and he thinks that he can get Proctor to turn. He thinks he can get Proctor to change his mind and actually testify against Ghost, James St. Patrick, and bring down Angela too as well, because he wants to bring down Angela. So, Sax and John Mark, they really want to bring down Angela, but Detective Greg, he might give Angela the heads up because she saved his ass a couple of times last season. So we'll see how that situation goes. And then John Mark also getting Terry to testify against Joe Proctor while he's at his license, to continue his lawyer license. And I'm just like, damn, like Terry was just like, I would never do anything wrong. I would never jeopardize anything. But he did jeopardize his situation with Tasha. Now, is Joe Proctor ever going to bring that up? Because possibly he can't bring it up because it ties into Ghost. So, Joe Proctor, he might continue his license or he might not. But the court's going to have to make the decision on that. Then we find out that Joe Proctor comes from a bad background. He comes from killers and murderers. He comes from like... he comes from the Italian killers and murderers. So I wonder if Joe Proctor, he's actually related to Tereshi or Tereshi's people, the Italians, and is that going to be his protection too as well? But it also seems like the Italians want to take over, Tommy's spot because Tereshi's, right hand man Sam, he thinks that Tommy Egan is no good, and he's over his head and situation, dealing this drug thing, having beef, that he really don't know what to do. And so the hitters came back to bite Tommy in his ass, because one dead, one survived, and he wants Vince to know that Tommy Egan actually hired him behind Vince's back. And now, Sam knows, and Sam is upset with Tommy. He was like, and Tommy was trying to kill one of the hitters. And so, Sam was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that at all. You can't go down that road. You can't do that. And so Tommy was like, damn. So Tommy goes to talk to his father. His father ain't too thrilled, too happy. He was like, Tommy, you should have came to me first. But Vince is going to be upset, but he's going to forgive you. But next time, come to me first. Like, you should have came to me. I'm your father. And so it seems like Tereshi and Sam think that Tommy is not really, meant for this business. And do they want his connect? So Tommy have a bunch of people after him. He has Kanan, and he's gonna have Sam and Tereshi after to take his connect, because they don't mean him no good, and Ghost sees that they don't mean him no good. So we're gonna see how that situation plays out. I'm just like, damn. And so then also we got Angela. She's on the case going after the Diaz brothers, and Diego, and Alicia, basically killing, the couple from last season, killing them and taking their baby and using that gold-plated gun, and she's tracing the ballistic back, and she finds out Diego's back in this town and in the city, so she's going to be looking after them. And so if she gets to them first and lock them up, who's going to be the connect? And we're going to have Jason that's going to be the super connect, because then the Jimenez cartel is not going to be involved. Or would they take out Angela, and then Ghost has to jump in and try to go after them and kill them first before he kills Dre? So that's going to be interesting if Angela actually get to the cartel first, the Jimenez brother and the sister, because they still have the baby. Because when they killed that couple, they took their baby, and their photograph entering the USA with the sister, Diego, and the baby, and some other people that went behind the door. So if Angela goes after them, she's probably going to find out Dre is working with them, and they're in Club Truth, and it's going to lead back to Ghost. So it's going to be interesting how this story plays out, and will she get to them first? And then we got the Hernandez brothers, and coming to Dre was like, Dre, there's a power vacuum going on with the Totos or whatever, the Toto Locos or whatever, and Angela knows about them too, and one of the guys being killed and left with a bunch of 85, keys, and him being murdered because, they're fighting over who's going to be control over that gang, actually, 7118, I think, 718. Or so that's the situation. She knows about that, and so there's a power vacuum going between the two leaders, the young and the old. And so Angela she's on her business, she's on her case. And actually Tamika was like, if we can bring down Diego and the Hernandez brothers, then that means that we're all going to move up, and it's going to be thanks to Angela that we're all going to be high profile and they're going to be in the money. But Ghost and Kanan are back in the business because Jason done hired them to go after the Hernandez and Diego and kill them. So it's just like, Ghost is being ordered around against something that he did not want. And Kanan is sitting there soaking it all up and soaking up all the information. And Tommy's a kind of like a loose cannon. He can't really see what's going on, what move to make. He's listening to Kanan. He's listening to his father too. He's not really getting any information from his father, but he's messing around with the Italians, and he don't know if they really got his back or not. So Tommy's like in a whirl of confusion, really who to trust. Only person he can really kind of trust is Ghost at this point, but he's going to trust other people because they said that last episode that Tommy always looking for a father, somebody to guide him. So that's going to be a crazy situation. And finally Tariq is taking ownership of actually being at fault for his sister being killed, and it's some shady shit going on. Then we got Keisha and Tommy, they're still trying to hide their relationship, and Keisha's trying to find out what's going on with the situation with Tariq and Tasha not coming home and needing her to do an alibi, and Tommy does not want to tell her because he doesn't want her to know anything, and so she's feeling on the outs. But it seems like she's trying to get information so she can gather herself, so she can be safe at the end of the day if she needs to testify or she needs some type of leverage. So that's going to be crazy. Then we keep getting Tasha and Angela meeting up, and Angela actually giving Tasha a burner phone as like crazy. Hopefully it can be traced back, and she wants to know who else knew that Tariq was cool with Ray Ray, was dealing with Ray Ray. Tasha doesn't know, so she asks Ghost. She finds out that his brains is country. She finds out his brain. She lets Angela know. Angela does the research. She finds out that country and brains is dead. They're not going to be in the picture. They're gone. So right now Tariq is okay, but they are leaked to a burglar ring, which we know Tariq was involved in. And is Tariq going to actually be identified being in that burglar ring because he was actually, his friends got robbed, and he's a coincidence where Tariq is there and then they get robbed. And so we'll see how that happens. We'll see what happens with that situation, if he's ever going to be connected to the burglary ring. And Angela is persistent that anybody that can tie Tariq to Ray Ray, they need to talk to him and find out what's going on. The only person now is really just Tommy and Kanan. But there is Ray Ray's cousin, the girl that Tariq was sleeping with. He didn't say her name when Tasha asked him, is there anybody else connected to Ray Ray that and he didn't divulge her name at all. He didn't tell her anything. So he's protecting her. I don't know if she's pregnant or not, but he's protecting her, and she can lead him. That young lady can lead him back to her Uncle Ray Ray, because of actually the cops or the police that is searching and trying to find out information about Angela going to the crime scene and dealing with Ray Ray's case, which is Eternal Affairs. That lady Blanca, I believe, she knows that Angela went to go see Ray Ray's cousin, and Angela lied to her, saying that she never even interviewed Ray Ray or anybody about Ray Ray. So that's going to be like a crazy situation. So it seems like So we got Diego having sex and whatever, and Dre walks in and he wants Dre to watch him have sex with these women. Like, okay, Dre's like, this is just too much. Dre's getting tired of Diego. So I don't know. Dre might, he can't really do nothing to Diego because Diego is his connect. But if Dre can find a new connect, which could possibly be Jason, if they ever, run into each other, it will be some shit going on with that situation, because it seems like Dre is not, really cool with Diego and his antics. And so, Diego was like, I lost 86 keys. I need the ports to be clear. I need you to be up on this shipment. And I need you to Toto Locos. I need you to, pick somebody to be in control, because they're about to have a war between each other. And Cristobal lets, Dre know, like, the old school dude is the better guy to go with, because he knows everything. He can get everything off the ground walking. And Cristobal was like the new guy. He doesn't know nothing. He's wet behind the ears. And so Francis, Dre boy, was like, well, we want the new kid. Sounds good, because we can train him. He won't ask no question. He'll do what we tell him to do. Cristobal was like, that's not a good idea. So Dre was like, I don't care what you're saying, Cristobal. And it seems like Cristobal's getting kind of like upset. He's getting kind of tired of Dre too as well. Everybody wants the seat that Dre is sitting in, even, a Kanan. So that's going to be like a situation going on if Cristobal turns around and do some shady shit or try to give the drop to Diaz on, Dre. So we'll see how that situation plays out. I see Cristobal maybe turning on Dre later on, but so Dre puts out a hit for, the old dude and the Toto Locos or whatever, so he can 718 whatever, so he can be killed, and then the young dude can take over. And Francis happens to see the older dude from the gang walking down the street and did a 187 on him where well, what's his name? I can't think of homeboys to do that, Francis was in the car with. So he does the hit, and Dre's not happy about it because he feels like it's going to come back to him. And then they all messed up. And Cristobal was like, see, this is all messed up. And then Dre's outside talking to Francis. And he's upset with Francis because Francis told him that he did the hit. And Dre was like, no, it can come back to us. Why would you do that? You're so stupid. And whatever. And so he takes him off the pit. So now he loses his command, and also Spank loses his command too as well in the organization. So now that shit is messed up. And Francis was like, yo, why are you acting like that? I remember when I met you and you was nobody. We used to be niggas or whatever. And so Dre was like, you ain't my nigga, you work for me. I was just like, oh no. He was, you ain't my nigga, you work for me. You take orders from me. Like, yo. We ain't been niggas a long time. It's just like, damn. So that situation plays out, but it plays out in a good way where Dre and Cristobal are still safe, because the new young dude that is going to be head of the, gang, Totos something, Locos or whatever, he admits and he says that he killed the older dude. So now that takes the heat off of Dre, and it takes the heat off of Cristobal. But in the meantime, Ghost and Kanan are actually watching every move Dre makes. Like, they're watching the club, they're looking, they're spying, they're finding out what's going on. And then also Kanan knows that there's some underlying tension going on because how the way he like dismissed Francis. So I wonder if Kanan is actually going to talk to Francis and be his inside man, because right now, Ghost and Tommy, they all need an inside man inside the cartel with Diego. So we'll see what happens with that situation. I'm just like, damn. So moving on from that, you see, Diego got, Dre having sex with one of the girls he had sex with. Dre don't really want to do it. Diego orders him to go have sex with the girl. The girl was like, we got to do it because he'll smell my vagina. I was like, damn, Diego is just loco. And so Diego goes in the bathroom when Dre is having sex with the girl, and he wanted to watch, and Dre just walked out. Dre was like, I'm not feeling this. So Dre's feeling a certain type of way. He's going to try to find a way out of the situation with Diego because he ain't really liking him. That's the same way he felt about Ghost. So we'll see how this situation plays out. And then also Diego wants to know what's going on, Dre, what's up with you being Mr. International Club guy and all this other stuff? Like, what's good? Like, and also Diego likes the way that Dre is, supplying the club with his drugs, with the product. So I'm like, okay. So also, Angela finds out the couple that was killed and their baby was taken away from them, that the same drugs, the same chemical, it's the same match to the drugs and the chemicals that was at, one of the Toto Locos that got killed, and there was 87 keys left over. So they're putting two together with the drug combination and chemicals, and then also with the gun and the ballistics, and then the picture of the baby. So Angela soon will be going after, Diego. And Tasha, she's grieving and she's crying and she's all over the place. And then also, Councilman Tate setting up, Ghost and Tasha to actually give a speech, about the organization, help Queen's kids. And Tasha didn't want to give a speech because they already know who killed Raina. It was Ray. They took care of it, and Tasha doesn't want any investigation or anything else happening or going on, because then that can lead them back to her son. So now that situation just crazy. And so Vince, he actually forgives Tommy, and and say, Tommy, don't do this shit again. Whatever you always want to take 50% of the cut. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And you're going to take care of these two boys' family. And then Tommy says, well, I took care of the killer. And then Sam co-signs that, Tony Tereshi's brother, and then he punches Tommy in the face. So we'll see what happens with that situation. I was like, damn. And Sam, he's not too happy with Egan. He's not happy with him. He was like, yo, I told your father I was going to watch out for you, and that's what I'm doing. But this bullshit that's going on, like he's not feeling him. And the Angela's getting close and close. And then Terry doing what he did to Joe Proctor, is that going to get him out of the business? Or is he going to be taken out? We'll see what happens, because Ghost seems like he's erratic and he's not stable. Or is he becoming the most evilest guy ever? So we'll see. And also when Kanan and Ghost was sitting in the car together, Kay was just like, yo, listen, it's all Tommy's fault, them Italians, you could have been out the gang and Tommy would have been doing his thing and he messed it all up. And then Ghost looked at, Kay was like either he's agreeing with him or he sees that he's trying to do divide and conquer. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. So Tariq is going to go to another school and he's off. I'm just like, he's off, but I don't know what he's going to do. Is he really going to go to another school, or is he going to be out there in these streets wilding? So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love to all my peeps and my peoples.